Congratulations. Couple quick announcements before we get started. If you do have questions for our head coaches, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question queued. Please limit your questions to one initial question. If there are additional questions that are in the queue, if we have additional time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. We ask you please ensure that your lines are actively muted unless you're asking a question. And please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question. With that being said, we're happy to be joined by Coach Shade with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Mississippi Valley State.
Okay, it was homecoming this past Saturday at Alabama A&M University. And Mississippi Valley State came in. Much respect to Coach and his team. They did a great job. Really got out to us in the first half. They jumped out on us 9-0, and we were able to fight back in the second quarter. And it was 17. We were up 17-16 at halftime. Came back out in the second half and played pretty well in that second half, offensively and defensively, and we're able to win the ball game 45-25. But much respect to Coach Terrell Buckley and his team for the way they came in here and fought.
Appreciate those opening comments. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing pretty good.
Well, I was there at homecoming. It was a great atmosphere, and it was a great win for the Bulldogs. And so my question for you this morning is, you guys rushed for 240 yards in the game. And, rushing has been a challenge throughout the season. Now with this 240-yard effort, what do you think you guys as a staff can do to carry this forward as you move into the next part of the schedule?
Well, we just got to continue to spend time on the running game, not just offensively, but also defensively. This past ball game, we held them to 150 yards rushing, which is below what we have been giving up the past two ball games. So, we put an emphasis on it the last few weeks, and we're going to continue during the bye week to do the same, and hopefully we can have the same results in the running game.
All right, Coach. I'll allow Perry Daniels to ask his question. Andrew, if I got time, I'll come back behind him.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Super fantastic, Coach. Talk to me about your halftime speech. You guys went into the half only up by 1, came out and exploded for 21 points in the third quarter. What motivated that?
Well, the bottom line is this. It's something we've been, talking about all season. We just have not played 4 quarters of Bulldog football in a ball game. And that first half, we didn't play the way we knew we could play. And I just let the team know that, hey, we're not playing up to our standard, and told them, hey, it's 0-0 in the second half, and we got to go win the second half. And that's what they did.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
All right, Coach. So now that you're on a bye week and you're preparing for your first trip into the Magic City Classic, I'll ask you about Alabama State next week, but I specifically want to ask about the bye week this week. You got a lot of injuries, specifically starting quarterback. You've got some guys on defense, guys all around that are injured.
Yes.
Can you talk about some of the guys that you're looking to get back, and also just some of the preparations you're looking to see as you go through this bye week?
Well, yes, I mean you're correct. I mean we've been a banged up football team since training camp, and you know, a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. Some guys have never made it into the lineup this season, but yes, we definitely want to get some guys healed up. Obviously, you know, Quad Brown, our starting quarterback, he's one of them. There's some guys on the offensive line that have been a little bit banged up. Ramir Lewis, not completely healthy this past game, our right guard. Uh, Also, Trey Abner, our starting tight end. He hadn't played in a couple games. Would love to, you know, maybe get him back healthy. And you know, it's funny. Our second and third string quarterback were in a car accident last Tuesday. Nobody knew about, and the third string quarterback didn't dress Ashley Tucker, and actually Eric Hanley was banged up going into the game. He had some soreness from that accident, so you know, give him some time, and then defensively, you know, got some guys that have been banged up on defense. So hopefully we can get those guys back.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your comments as always. Get rested and get healed up, and we'll talk next week about that big game down there in Birmingham.
All right, thank you.
Still taking questions for Coach Shade with Alabama A&M. If you have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your question in the queue. Any final questions? All right, next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach, from a scheme standpoint, did you do anything differently in the second half that you didn't do in the first half to make that offense so much more productive?
Well, actually, we didn't. We really didn't. In the first half, we had some execution issues. You know, we started the game off with a flea flicker, and we throw an interception to start the game off, so we don't get off to a good start. And just offensively and defensively, we just weren't executing right. And you know, they were able to make some plays. And then in the second half, we just had better execution out of everybody, offense, defense, and special teams. That really was the difference. Didn't really make any changes in the second half.
Sounds good. Enjoy the off week, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Sir. All right, we are ahead of schedule for Coach Robinson's availability. We'll pause. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Once again, if you do have questions for coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. As always, we appreciate you taking time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Jackson State.
Yeah, went down to Jackson State for the homecoming. Played against a really good team. We're a really good team too. So it was two good teams out there playing. The game went back and forth. Had some challenging calls earlier in the game that had us really coaching up technique more than being tough, physical, and aggressive. So that slowed us down a little. But the kids recovered well. Going into the fourth quarter, we were down 11 at one point. We kept fighting back, and both teams made a lot of good plays. A lot of talented offensive guys on the field. I mean, they're number 0, number 2, number 3. You know, our number 0, number 2, number 6. We had about 6 guys out there that could play anywhere in the country. So it was great to have a SWAC atmosphere, to have a game, to be a part of it that ended the way it did on the last second play. We had one play to try to score and couldn't get it done. So my staff, my players played their butts off, so super proud of them. Just great to be a part of that type of game. And TC Taylor and those guys, they deserve it. They played hard too. It was just that the time was going to run out on one team, and the time ran out on us. So we take the loss and we move on to the next one. So we have the Magic City Classic coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll get everybody ready, get the academics going, make sure we're doing little things, and work on winning each day.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Rob, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Morning. Going well, going well.
That's good. Obviously, tough loss for you guys, and what was a great football game this Saturday to watch. My question for you today, I want you to take us through those final moments. You guys get the completion down to about the 1.5 yard line, and you have about a second left. And then you run the play. What was the play? What was it designed to do? What was its initial intention? And then just talk about just everything that took place in that final sequence.
I mean, the play was designed to score a touchdown, obviously. So that was the goal. So it was just one of those things. They stretched it out. Their defensive end made a terrific play of taking away the read for Andrew Body. And then their linebacker, I forgot the kid's number, but he made a great play. I mean, if you just watch what he did, he just took a perfect angle. He laid out. I mean, as a linebacker, that's a dream that you want to make. You want to make a game-saving tackle on the goal line, and he took his shot and made it. So kudos to those guys for making that play. But it just didn't go our way. But I thought it was a great call. I like the way we did it. We didn't execute it perfectly, but you had 2 guys on their team that made a great play. So you tip your hat to them and you move on.
Yeah, it was Quincy Ivory that made that play there.
Absolutely.
But,
great play, man.
Yeah, great game to watch, though. You guys have a bye week, so we'll talk to you next week about that team you're playing in Birmingham.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Great game. Coach, I want to take you back, though, to the point to where you scored 20 and you had 26 points and you went for 1. And that kept it a 4-score game as opposed to going for 2 and making it a 3-point game. Was there any consideration to go for 2? And talk me through that decision-making process.
Yeah, I think it was still early as far as starting to chase points. Just the way the game was going, I felt like that both teams was going to score again. And so I felt like we'd have more time to catch up at that point. So didn't really consider going for 2. You know, we do our swinging gate play, maybe have an opportunity at that standpoint. But just the efficiency of our kick operation and our ability to play defense, felt like we'd have a chance to still catch up.
Sounds good. Great call at the end of the game. They made a great play. Thank you,
Appreciate
Coach.
it. Yep.
This question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Going well. How's it going?
I wanted to ask, and it seemed like he was all over the place on the defensive side of the ball, Jaleel Lenore, in terms of what he was able to do in that game. They kept calling his name all day. Just your thoughts in terms of this play.
Yeah, so that was a kid, our starting linebacker. Well, both of them shared a lot of time. Was Rudy Jean-Louis. He was out, had an ankle injury from the game before. So now you have a kid that usually is playing 25, 30 snaps. Now you have to play about 50 snaps. So he rose up for the challenge, man. He played hard, played physical. He had a great forced fumble at the end of that game that gave us a chance to get back in it. So he's been the leader since he's been here. Love the kid. Super proud to have him, to coach him, and he's playing linebacker at a high level, and he had an opportunity to play a lot more in this game than usual, and so that was big on him. Rudy should come back, so they'll start splitting time again. But he showed us why he was, all conference before at the D2 level before he got here.
Good thing. Appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to Donald Ware.
Good morning, Coach Robinson. How you doing?
Doing well. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. I want to deviate a little bit and talk with you about Bill. Ja'Cory Croskett merits in a big spot tonight, Monday Night Football. A couple of things. What do you remember about his time there at Alabama State? And then did you foresee him being where he is right now? He's in a lot of respects that, at least from a rookie standpoint, the talk of the league.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Great kid. He was here in 22. Montgomery kid, local guy. Just worked hard, would ask me every day, Coach, what does it take to get to the NFL? Coach, am I doing enough? So it's great when you tell a kid you need to do A, B, and C, and then he worked at that level. So he's earned everything he's gotten. And so talk to him over the summer and get him to come down here and do a football camp for the kids in Montgomery. He's from here, a local guy, went to Lanier High School. So super proud of him, and his work ethic is what's gotten him there. So I send him a text every once in a while, and just love to watch him play. And he's another SWAC product. We don't always get the credit for those guys who move on to other schools and then go to the NFL, but we found them in high school, we developed them, and so we're still a SWAC product.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
This question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach. How are you? This is Marvin Nichols from MTMV Sports.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going great. I enjoyed that game, and it was down to the wire. But I want to talk to you about your next game. You got a bye week before one of the biggest stages in HBCU football, the Magic City Classic. How important is it? Is this time to regroup and refocus before Alabama A&M?
Yeah, you take some time to get everybody healthy. We have a couple guys that we expect to get back. And for us, I already told them last night, it's the biggest game of the year. And that's not a hyperbole because it's the next game. It's the biggest game of the year. So period. And so I love playing in the game. I love coaching in the game, but it's a game that you have to have a lot of focus on. So we'll get the time to get over where we are and get our minds ready to play. But I know Coach Shea to have those guys ready to play. It's a big rivalry. I think it's one of the best in all of college football, not just FCS. And we have a couple coaches this their first year on the staff, and I'm telling them, hey, this is the biggest HBCU Classic. And some of them doubt me, but after the game, they're like, man, Coach, that's the biggest HBCU Classic. So we're looking forward to it. It comes at a good time. It gives us something to focus on and not look in the mirror about the loss that we had.
Yeah, it is a huge deal. And everybody that has a classic, whether it's in Louisiana or Florida, we know that Alabama has this big classic. I've yet to come, but hopefully in the near future, I'll be there to witness it. And good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Robinson, how you doing today?
Going well, Doc. How's it going?
I'm doing good. It was nice meeting you again. While we was on the sideline before the game started, you said that you got to be ready for a game like this. And in one way or the other, your team was ready. But the last play was the bang bang play with Ashton Taylor. What did you tell your team afterwards about playing games like this and how to move on to the next game?
Yeah, so what should have happened happened. That's what I tell them. And so you have to have that approach in life. Lost some heartbreaking games in the NFL, and probably my third or fourth year, one of my coaches told us that, hey, what should have happened happened. You can't go back and say shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I've had some people, well, coach, y'all could have ran this. Whatever play you run, if it doesn't work, everybody's gonna say you should have ran a different play. If you pass it, it don't work, you should have ran it. If you ran it, it don't work, you should have passed it. So what should have happened happened. I think once you take that approach to it, and I take that same approach in life, you can't look at it in Monday morning quarterback and think about, yeah, it's a play that could have had here, it's a play you could have had there, but Jackson can say the same thing. It's a couple plays that they could have had and it would have, went the other direction. So what should have happened, and you go out there and you get ready for the next game. It's tough. I mean, football teaches you about life. If you can get through this type of stuff, when life comes, you'll be ready for it. And we're trying to raise young men. And so now we're moving on to the next one. But it was a great game. The kids played hard. 50 seconds left. I mean, to me, I was on the sideline with a smile on my face. I told them we practiced for this. Like, I was excited for the opportunity to go down there and win the game. And everybody expected it to happen because we've done that so many times. Usually I give them one timeout in 50 seconds. So the fact that we had 3 timeouts in 50 seconds, we were excited for the opportunity. It just didn't work out at the end, but it was a great game. Once again, salute to TC Taylor and those guys, Jackson State, great atmosphere. Just love being a part of it. Get on to the next one.
All right, appreciate you, Coach, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We next go over to Alcorn State and Coach Thomas. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Lincoln.
Yeah, just blessed to have an opportunity to go out and compete. Any Saturday you get a chance to do that, regardless of who it's against. We still got opportunity to get better. I thought we did that. Got a chance to play some guys and rest a few guys. But the main thing was, the pageantry of homecoming, being able to at least, play the game. And I know we had some concerns, going into it. But, shout out to Lincoln to come down and players and also, our guys and all the supporters. So, it's good to get it on, get a chance to play, get better in some areas. Still got some work to do. So, we'll get ready for a FAMU good football team for their homecoming.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Thomas, how are you today?
Oh, I'm blessed.
Hey, before I go any further, just know that my thoughts have been with you guys for the last couple of days about, the events that you guys had down there for your homecoming. Wanted to say that first.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. Now, with this preparation you guys have getting ready for this FAMU team, you guys ran the ball really, really well, which was something you guys wasn't able to do the previous week. As you prepare for this FAMU team, like, what are some of the key things and the key aspects that you guys need to do in all 3 phases to get it over the finish line this time?
Still running the football. It's just different ways. They got a really stout defense, so it may not be, inside the tackle box. It may be around the edge, and also on the perimeter. So, we got to establish who we are, and that's who we are, first and foremost, with the 2 explosive backs that we have. So, that has to be a main part of what we do. But we also got to be efficient in the pass game. We can't give up sacks and negative plays in the pass game also. Defensively, they got some weapons. Anytime you talk about Florida football, you always got to deal with the speed. And they got some guys on the edges that can run and create separation on the edge. So we got to win our one-on-ones and stop that, running game that they have with the big running back and those electrifying running backs that they have in that room. And then special team, that's my biggest thing. We just got to clean it up. We work it over and over. And so I'm still waiting to have just that 100% completion, just from a special team aspect. And so we'll continue to do that and, take that trip up to Tallahassee and get ready for this really good football team we got to face.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you as always. Good luck this week as you take that trip over to Tallahassee.
Appreciate it, sir.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, sir.
Congratulations on the victory.
Appreciate it.
Coach, talk to us about the mentality of the team as they go into Bragg Memorial Stadium to take on these Rattlers.
It's hard to say right now because, I don't think I have anybody on the roster that ever been, and that's including some coaches. And so we got to create that. You see, my first cousin, Kendrick, he was able to just give me some insight of what it was like last year when Valley went down. And so, I talked to Willie just about, some of the things and loopholes inside that from a psychological standpoint that I can address my team, but also, the players. So we're going to try to create that type of culture. We know it's going to be electrifying. We've seen some of the YouTube videos. So we'll pull some of that and get some noise, going on in the practice sector. But we know it's going to be rowdy. We know it's going to be a really good atmosphere for football just because of, that geographical location and the history and the tradition behind that program. So we got to create all that in-house, but also block out all the external, things that deal with it. And we got to go out and execute, be sound on all three phases and come back on, with a win.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it, sir.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Thomas, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm blessed. What's up with it, Doc?
I'm doing good. So you happy with your win for this weekend? So now it's time for you to go ruin somebody else's homecoming, and that's with FAMU. But let's go ahead and talk about the running game with Ja'Cory Sewell and Reggie Davis. Both of those backs combined for over 300 yards rushing in the game. What are the things that you want to try to improve as far as winning running game and also with time of possession?
Yeah, 9 carries wasn't about enough. So that starts and ends with me. And so I've talked to the offensive staffs, and he'll definitely touch it more going out. It may not be necessary in the backfield, but he definitely will get more than 9 to 11 targets. He's our bell cow. He's been with us behind, Javion and Nico. And so we owe it to him. And so we'll continue to give it to him. And when he can't get it, Reggie will come in and spell him. And I think if we can do that and establish that with the O-line and create a new line of scrimmage, we'll have a chance every Saturday. And so, talking about the homecoming deal is an opportunity for us to go out and be able to spoil somebody else's homecoming. And so, we know Coach had those guys, excited and ready to play. And so we just got to play our brand of football, continue to run the football at a high rate, spit it out on the perimeter and take the explosive shots when we get the chance to.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Coach, another cross-division game, and I just wanted to ask this question. In addition to obviously what you're looking at with your own football team, but what is it that you primarily see with those teams over there in the SWAC East?
Just a physicality, and really, really good athletes. When you look at those guys, and the way they play, coordinators on both sides, and also the head coaches, the way they kind of create that culture of just toughness, and so, on that side is real, really good brand of football. And there's also a mindset over there that you can kind of see. So, we got to be able to match it. It's going to be a hostile environment, tough territory that we got to try to invade. And so I know our guys will be prepared, to take that trip. And so it's going to start with Tuesday morning, being able to go out. And once we get there, matching the intensity and being able to just keep, cut out the noise, and just go execute at a high level.
No doubt. I appreciate that, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Any final questions? Coach, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, we are a few minutes ahead of schedule. We'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Southern.
Had a good showing, in front of the home crowd. Obviously Southern came in, Coach Gray had those guys ready to go. We started out with the ball on our own 41-yard line. They won the toss, deferred, went on a 9-play drive that ended up with a 51-yard missed field goal attempt. Then they scored first play 71-yard pass. And then our second drive ended with a Cam Ransom 12-yard TD run. We scored again with Ricky Shaw, 5-yard TD run from Ransom. And then third quarter, Ali Scott on the run. Then Juan Dominguez had a 32-yard field goal. And then third quarter, Lorenzo Jenkins, the 33-yard touchdown pass from Ransom. And then we ended up with the fourth quarter ending score with Juan Rodriguez, 19-yard touchdown.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, you guys totally dominated the Jaguars in this contest, gaining almost 500 yards of total offense. But I want to talk to you about your defense, because this running game of the Jaguars was pretty formidable coming into this game, but yet you held them to under 100 yards. Talk about what you saw on film, your strategy into being so effective against the running game of the Southern University Jaguars.
Well, I tell you what, Southern has a really good football team, especially up front in the backfield. Obviously they can run and also, pass. But talking with our guys, it was all about us, being intent on the technique and fundamentals of tackling. I mean, we stressed that, and then obviously playing our gaps. And we knew that we couldn't wait. We had to be in an attack phase and have good eyes. And those were their intentions the whole season, and I'm really happy for the defense, obviously having a chance to kind of see and evaluate things that we needed to do better. And that was the top key is, get there before, they get there, because they got some guys that can take it the distance. We couldn't sit and wait. We couldn't think. So just symbolizing the scheme and letting those guys play. A lot of times, like I talk with the coaches all the time, we can't overthink it. These guys have class, they have social lives. We got to keep it simple so they can play fast. And that's what they did. And I'm proud of them, with our whole philosophy as a team, being smart, fast, physical, and aggressive. And they did that on all three aspects.
Again, congratulations, Coach. Thank you for your comments here. Good luck.
Thank you.
This question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Woody, good morning to you, and congrats on your win.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this week you guys are headed into your bye week, and as you head into your bye week, you guys are sitting in a pretty good position, as compared to some of the recent history in the SWAC play. So as you head into your bye week, what are some of the things that you as a staff and group that you guys really need to key in on to get yourselves ready for this next stretch drive?
Well, I tell you what, just being intentional on the technique, fundamentals, and attention to detail. And first and foremost, being, good students, catching up on their schoolwork, making sure that, we do a lot of housekeeping on that, giving them an opportunity to rest, and then, watching film and like I said before, work on our techniques and fundamentals. I know Coach Hampton, he's a close friend, and he's going to have those guys ready.
All right, Coach. Well, best to you on this bye week, and we'll talk to you next week about your next opponent.
Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Woody, how you doing this morning?
Doing great, and yourself, Doc?
I'm doing good. First and foremost, you're being even killed guy. That's the most excitement I've seen you on that sideline since you've been the head coach of Bethune-Cookman. But going into the game, pretty much defensive wise, you were locked in, especially on run defense. What do you tell your guys about their performance against a Southern team that likes to run the ball pretty heavy?
Well, it's do your 111. Like I told those guys, do your job. It's that simple. Good eyes, attack downhill, especially when it's run. And then obviously, you stop the run, then they got the result to the pass. But like I said, I'm just proud of the guys, for taking the coaching because it was due. Like I said, I'm glad to see the whole overall defense, play better than they did the previous game. So that's showing improvement, and that's the standard.
All right, appreciate you, Coach. Good luck on you next week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, and yourself?
I wanted to ask this question. I mean, it's not often that you see in football where there's not a noticeable drop off from quarterback one to quarterback two. But I wanted to ask, how much of a luxury is it to have two quarterbacks that can really move the offense kind of as seamlessly as both of your quarterbacks do?
Well, it's solid on that standpoint for having a guy, like Timmy and Cam. I mean, obviously, I can't speak for every coach in the SWAC, but the schedule that we have to playing, bigger schools, and you just never know. You one play away from being ready to go. So I contribute that to our offensive staff, having those guys, ready to go at any given situation. But to have two guys that drop of a hat, they can go in and execute the offense. That's good.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Daytona are well. Covering the game the other day, it looked like your offense was clicking. Talk a little bit about the offensive side of the ball. The passing game was on point, and in rushing the ball, you guys really scored and really got out and did what you had to do. But talk about Wildcats football.
Well, I tell you what, I was excited, for Coach Pimpton and the whole offensive staff, along with the players. I mean, we had 270 yards passing and then 227 yards rushing, so it's pretty balanced. That's what you sign up to be. Whether it's run the ball, then obviously pass the ball, balance type statement. They do a good job of rotating guys in and out to fit what we do on the offensive side of the ball. So, like I said before, it just seems like those guys are starting to click together. They care about each other. They don't care about who gets the credit. And that's the good thing about, what we're doing on that side of the ball. Everybody is doing their part. And when you do your part, things that happen for you, whether it's this game or next game, but just having that selfless mentality.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great week.
You too.
This question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach Woody. Good morning. This is Marvin Nichols from MTMV Sports Coach. That was a statement win for the Wildcats. I'm so happy for you after being down there in Daytona a couple of years ago to meet your team, you and your team. Your complete domination on both sides of the ball. What was the energy like in that locker room after such a commanding performance?
Oh, obviously it's positive. Anytime you win, you go to that next step. And I think these guys are starting to understand that, they play as a team and trust the process. Everything, will work out. I appreciate those comments, but it's all about the players. That's what it's about. And those guys starting to understand that, it's not about me, it's about we.
Well, Coach, it's happening. Its manifestation is happening. And good luck to you. You have homecoming this coming weekend, correct?
No, next weekend. We're
Oh,
off.
next weekend. Well, listen, continue to move forward and keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, the improvement of your football team has been pretty evident this season, just based on you guys' start, especially in SWAC play. How much do you appreciate the program in its current state now, as opposed to when you took over when you were coming off a couple of losing seasons? How much do you appreciate just the growth in your team since you've been here?
Well, I mean, I tell you what, it's not about me, it's about the vision, and then obviously the staff members, the the organization, as long as, the guys, they understand that we're student first. I had some hurdles to overcome as far as with grades and, APR and all of that stuff. So you have to get that right first. And I think now the guys are starting to understand it's two words: do right and then prove it. And I think they're understanding that part of it because, you have to have a standard and you have to stick by a standard. And now they understand what they expect. They expect to win, whereas they didn't understand on time mean late, tuck your shirts in, those type of things. They didn't understand. So just to see them do it and us not say it, then that's getting us to where we want to be.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We'll now go over to Florida A&M and Coach Colzie. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Colzie with Florida A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. As always, thank you for taking time to join us. If you could, please start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus North Carolina Central.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, tough loss at home against a very, very good North Carolina Central football team. 3 turnovers, not being able to capitalize on some of the to be able to take advantage on some of the things that we were able to do defensively. But it's a very, very good football team that we played. Looking forward to playing Alcorn State this weekend for our homecoming.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Colzie, good morning to you.
Hey, Wayne, what's going on?
Hey, Coach, I know it was a tough effort for you guys this week, but obviously you don't have a lot of time to sulk about it. You just got to get yourselves up and get ready for Alcorn. But my question for you now is, after 7 punts, 3 interceptions, being sacked, and then having some troubles running the ball, where do you guys go as an offense from here to start improving and getting this thing turned around ahead of this Alcorn game?
Well, the first part you mentioned Alcorn's not going to feel sorry for us for the tough loss that we had this past Saturday. And then to answer the second part, I think it's just we keep talking about execution and communication. Just being able to just finish drives, finish catches. Get an offensive rhythm. I think you said it all right there. What took place this past Saturday. That's not we continue to have those type of efforts, right? We're going to continue to have the same type of offensive output. But you take a look at the film. You look at where at certain times maybe 1, 2, 3 guys didn't necessarily execute, and then you get some of the things that you saw this past Saturday. But we better hurry up and get it done quickly because Alcorn's coming in, and like I said, they're not going to feel sorry for us for whatever happened to us the previous week.
All right, Coach. Good to talk to you as always. Good luck against Alcorn.
Appreciate you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Perry, what's up, boss?
Hey, Coach, the running game, less than 100 yards in the running game, but you gave up almost 200 yards in the running game, and now you've got one of the most productive running games in the conference coming to Bragg Memorial. How do you control this running game out of Alcorn State?
Got to be able to tackle. Got to be able to tackle the running backs. People are talking about Sewell. They got another one that can do pretty well as well. Both those guys ripped off almost 85 plus yard rushing touchdowns last week. But we got to work cut out for us, right? We got to be able to tackle. We got to be able to possibly stack the box and try to help our D line and linebackers. Against a very, very potent running attack. And then on our end, when you looked at the beginning of the season, you thought that Franklin was going to be a guy that was going to be able to have a very, very good year running the football. But then when you get yourself down a couple touchdowns, in the last couple games, you feel like you have to get away from the running game. But we got to be able to run the ball as well. We had a very, very good opportunity. We'll have a very, very good chance to hopefully do that this weekend. But it's been collectively, we've had some issues, whether it's special teams, offensive, defense, throughout the year, and we got to keep working and keep grinding, try to see if we can make sure all 3 of these facets come together sooner than later.
Thank you, Coach. Stay on the grind. Good luck to you.
That's all we can do.
Yes, sir.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone on the highest of 7 hills are well. Can you talk about the big three, as it were, the offense, the defense, and the special teams as you gear up for the Alcorn State University Braves as they come in for homecoming?
Well, I mean, I'll start with special teams. For the second week in a row, our damn punter is the MVP, right? Because he's punted so many times. That's not always what you want. Defensively, we knew we had our work cut out for us for what they were going to do offensively. They had a great run game, pass game, but we thought for the most part for us defensively this week it's going to kind of be the same memo, right? We got to stop the run. They got two guys that can tote the rock, and we got to be able to hit them again, and put ourselves and put our defense in a better situation as far as third down goes. Offensively, man, we just got to try to finish drives. That's been the biggest thing. We've been able to get some yardage, but then once we get to that offense plus 40, that's where we kind of struggled a little bit. So just being able to finish drives, have some confidence. If we offensively, when you start scoring points, right, that obviously helps the confidence not just of the offense, but it helps the confidence of the team. So we understand where we've made some mistakes, and we had great conversations yesterday, had great conversations this morning. When we're not going out there trying to do these things, they're not trying to play well. So, but I think for the most part, our guys still have confidence. They're still going to play as hard as they can, and that's all I ask them to do on a daily basis.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
Absolutely.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Colzie, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Doc. How you doing?
I'm still recovering from homecoming.
I know you smiling. I know you smiling. You've been smiling for the last 48, 72 hours.
Hey, yeah, I can't help it, man.
That's all good. That's all good.
Going into this game, what was the decision going with Jet Petty instead of with RJ Jefferson?
Well, I'll keep a couple things in house, but I mean, I know Jet did a great job the last week and a half. I thought it'd be important to, see if we can have a spark to our offense, and then obviously, we have the output that we had this past weekend. So, but Jet coming in week and week out, worked hard, did the things they needed to do, and thought it would be a great opportunity to start him. Wanted to give him every opportunity to play and see what it would look like with him under center. And so that's where we were, and made the decision to do that. And when you make those type of decisions, you got to stick with it. And that's exactly what I did.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
No problem.
This question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Last week you referenced the amount of pressure that you put on yourself to try to turn this thing around at FAMU. You lost your second straight home game, another one by a pretty large margin. How much is that pressure on yourself kind of ratcheted up now that you had like 2 consecutive home games that haven't been very close?
Well, I mean, it's still there, right? The pressure is just trying to, try to continue to have this football team continue to play, continue to fight. But we're 100%, and as far as our attendance and a lot of things that we're doing right now, guys are continuing to still buy in. They understand that what a win can do for this program, and what it can do for our football team right now. So I think the biggest thing for us is, again, we can't feel bad and we can't feel down, right? We got a team coming in that's going to try to win as well. So it's important. My job is to make sure that as far as our coaching staff goes, making sure we're putting our guys in the right position to be successful this week. They practice, our guys are going to come in and ready to light it up. They're going to come in with their eyes open and their ears, listening to try to, we all collectively know what we have to do to try to get this thing going. And that's just continuing with the confidence, offensively, defensively, special teams, making sure we're putting them in a situation to be successful. I mean, it's just been one side or one play or one player or 2 players or whatever the case may be on any given play. Well, that's just having confidence in each other and having confidence in maybe what we're doing. So we'll continue to fight, we'll continue to play, and I know our guys are going to work hard. That's all I asked them to do, and I know that they'll do that for me.
As a quick follow-up, Coach, you mentioned last week that you would give your team a D grade at this point of the season. Have you come to face the reality that this is who your team is, a below-average football team?
Not really. I think that, you go back to our game, we've had a couple situations where we could have been better. And maybe we could have called it better, maybe we could have played it better, we can be or maybe we could have executed it better. There's some things right now on our team where, you just thought you would be better maybe at certain situations or at certain points in the season, but And we only played 5 games. Right now we got 7 left. They're all in conference. They can all bode well as far as what that could mean to us, later on in the season. So, as far as what we're trying to accomplish, we still have that opportunity to do so. But you just got to make sure we take care of what we have to take care of, and that means winning every week. So those are the things we know. And as of right now, we still have an opportunity to be successful. But I look at the guys in the locker room. I thought we have, still think we got some very, very good players in that locker room. We're just not playing right. We're just not playing well as a team. So that's going to be up to myself and the staff to make sure we try to get that going.
I appreciate it, Coach.
No problem.
Last question goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Hey, Dwayne, what's up, boss?
I'm doing good. Following up on Doc's question there, you talk about pressure. This team hasn't been on the precipice of losing 3 games or hasn't lost 3 games there at Bragg in over almost a decade. Is there any pressure on you and your coaching staff going into this weekend to make sure that doesn't happen this year?
Well, I mean, I just think that for us as a staff, obviously trying to eliminate the outside noise. I mean, but we also understand that we haven't played well the last 2 games, right? So just trying to make sure that this team, proper game plan, putting them in the right spot, making sure we do everything that we can to ensure that they play their best game. Again, we've seen we watched the film. We know we haven't played what we needed to do. We haven't executed the way we were hoping. But I don't know about the past. You know what I mean? The stat that you just gave. But I think for us, it's just trying to make sure we win this football game. That's the pressure, trying to make sure we win this football game, because again, you start getting used to losing, right? And then it gets affected, then it gets into your locker room, right? So for us, we got to put our guys in the best possible situation to win, and that's really all we're thinking about.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck this week at homecoming.
Hey, appreciate you.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Hey, appreciate you guys, and as always, good luck to everybody this weekend.
Sure, thank you. All right, we go over to Grambling State. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning to you guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing great, Coach. As always, we appreciate you joining us. If you could start us off with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Texas Southern.
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize to the Grambling family. Had a great a great turnout for homecoming. It didn't go our way. 4 turnovers. We got to do a better job with ball security. I think we fumbled 3 times inside, the 15-yard line, and we had an interception. So you're never gonna, when you turn the ball over like that, the positive, you ran 2 kickoffs back and one came back for a block in the back, and that was very disappointing. But overall, we got to get better with our fundamentals with ball security. It's been 2 weeks in a row that we felt like we gave the game away with the turnover. So we got to do a better job, myself and with the staff, working with the fundamentals, just preaching it, and then, drawing a line. The lines have to be drawn, so you fumble, you might have to sit for a while. So we'll do a better job with that. But you take your hat off to Texas Southern. Dishman did a good job with his team, and they won the game. So there's no excuses. And you get out there, you throw your best shot, and then we just came up short. In another 1-point game. I think they said we're 4-6 in 1-point games, and that's something that I lose sleep over, try to figure out what we need to do to get better. To turn that corner. We just haven't turned that corner yet, but we're going to get back here today, and we're going to get ready for Arkansas Pine Bluff, which is another tough opponent.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Joseph, good morning, sir. How are you?
Could be better, but Wayne, I'm okay. I mean, he woke me up this morning, so he woke me up to fight. So we can get up and fight a little bit.
Yeah. So my question for you today, you already talked about the fumbles and the turnovers, but my question is, I want to go after that first touchdown, and you guys decided to, just talk about what the thinking was about going for 2 there on the fake.
Well, it's about starting fast, and then we during the week we said, hey, if we get the look, we're gonna go for it. But coming back and looking at the situation, probably need to make sure they give you the same look twice before you go for it. And we went for it and it hurt us. But that one play doesn't lose a game. I know it seems like it. You look at the 3 fumbles within the 15-yard line, and you look at the 60-yard run with a minute and something going into the half. So there's a lot of things played into losing this game. But you're right. If you had to go back and look at it, the best thing to do is make sure they give you the same look twice before you go for it. But it was a thing about trying to start fast. But that's on me. I'm the head coach, so it's on me.
Yeah, and coach, I just wanted to say with that, obviously that was something that people had asked, but I know the 9-play 85-yard drive and fumbling there at the end, that ultimately was really the one. But coach, good luck to you this week as you get ready for UAPB.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Question goes to James.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody at Grambling State University are well. Talk about the big 3, as it were, the offense, defense, and special teams for the G-men as you move forward and play another game this week.
Well, like I said about offense, just 3 balls on the ground. Like we told Ash, you got to understand when the journey's over and get down. And and just the quarterback centers change was something that we do every day. Quarterback centers change, and just a communication part. If you're gonna tell them you're gonna give it. If you tell them you're gonna pull it. And then with the young kid, he took the correct steps the first play, but the next step took the wrong steps, and didn't have it high and tight, had it away from his body, and the ball came out. So we got to do a better job with that, and then we got to figure out what's going on with the A and the B gap on the defense side of the ball. Are we moving them too much, or do we just keep them in their gaps? And are the linebackers there, and where's the safeties? So we got to do a better job in that. And on special teams, we got to stop the stupid penalties. We thought one of them was a bogus call when they pushed McWayne from the back and he disrupted the punt return. But the block in the back was a legit call, and it should have never happened, because that's another, take points off the board. We ran 2 kickoffs back, and same exact kickoff return, and we got to the point where we got to do a better job. We got to do a better job is going over and making sure they see everything they need to see before they see it on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach. I got to ask about Xavion Tisack. When did he get injured? It was reported during the game that he was in a boot prior to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was there doing what he does, taking your team on a late drive. What happened, and will he be ready for UAPB?
Well, I ruled T-Set out. It was a foot injury, and I knew Ash was capable of helping us win games. So he was banged up, and you hate to play kids when you have a credible backup like Ash. You hate to play him and have him play with a little pain. But it was on me to say that he wasn't going to go, because I was going to hold him. But I know this was the short time that I know this kid. I know when this kid seen Ash go down, I know it ran through his head like, okay, I got to go get ready. Because if you put him in pads, no matter how Ash was playing, you still look to put your starting in. So he was in a boot. He went down pregame. He said he felt it a little bit. But so we said, okay, let him rest and see if we can get him back for next week. But T said he's a team player. This is his team, and he wasn't going to allow it. I told him just a Byron Letwich when the lineman had to pick him up and walk him, ran him down the field, and he stayed in. And it was like Ash said, Coach, you have to cut my foot off. Not Ash, but T said you have to cut my foot off for me not to go in. But I was going to hold him, because I wanted him to heal. I wanted him to heal and to feel better, for the next week. But situation came about, and he took the initiative and said he was going to go in. And so, we let him play, and he came in, and he almost brought us back. But this is his team. He's our QB1, and everybody knows that. But you have to respect that kid for what he did, because most kids would have said, you know what, I'm not going out there because I'm feeling pain. But he played through it. So I take my hat off to him, and I respect him and his family.
Just for clarity, Coach, when did he occur with this injury? When did this injury occur?
Third quarter PV game.
Got it. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
He played through it. So take my hat off to him. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. Just to follow up on that, at this point, I know it's early in the week, but what would you say is the likelihood that T-Sit will be good to go for UAPB? And if he can't go with the injury to Adrian, what's the plan look like at quarterback?
Well, the plan is Danberg is going to take some reps this week, and we also going to look at T-Set again today. He came in this morning, so we're going to look at him again today and see how much he can do. And if he can go, we'll get a game plan around him. But right now, I'm going to rule him day to day. I'm going to rule him day to day. He's going to continue to be in the boot, and we're going to see if he can go a little bit on Tuesday. And if he can't, he'll go day to day. And if he say Saturday morning that he's feeling good, we'll have a game plan in place for him. But also we have a backup plan with Danberg to get him going also. But we do have a plan. We just got to know what's going on. Our medical staff's doing a great job of giving us the information that we need. So if he's ready to go, he'll be able to go. But right now, I'm going to list him day to day because I know that's what they're telling me.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Joseph, how you doing today?
Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Going into the game, Ashton Fry, can you grade his performance for me? And what do you do? How do you evaluate your second and third string players, and if you want to make them available to be on the field?
Well, if they're injured, I go with the medical staff. But if the doctor, not the trainer, if the doctor tells me that he can go, then it's up to the kid. If the kid tells me he can go, then he can go. If the kid tells me he can't go, then he can't go. But the doctor have to tell me that, not the trainer. I want to hear from the doctor. I want to hear from the one who has the higher salary. He's got the largest salary, so he's going to make sure. Not a trainer. I want the doctor to tell me that. So once the doctor tell me that he can go, he can go. Now, as far as my backup players, the backup, we give them reps. We give them fast reps, but they don't get a lot of reps. The third string quarterback really gets no reps. I mean, if you got time to get a third string quarterback reps in practice, I need to sit down with you and find out how you're doing it. But now we increase Danberg's reps this week, knowing that T-Set could be down. And we'll have this kid ready to go and find out what this kid can do. But the evaluation comes because we do good on good. We don't do scout team here. We do good on, we go 2s against 1s, 1s against 2s. So the kid gets fast reps. Now we got to increase the reps, what he's going to do in the game to get him going. So we'll evaluate him. But as far as injuries, once the doctor tell me that the kid can go, then it's up to the kid and the kid's family, of course.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck for next week.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Hey, good luck to all you guys this week. Y'all keep grinding, fellas. It's not the end of the world.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, next up, we will go over to Arkansas Pine Bluff. And once again, if you do have any questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Hampton with UAPB. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate you taking this time to join us on the weekly call. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Westgate.
Yeah, we had homecoming against Westgate Christian, good crowd. We were able to get the win. A lot of the guys were able to play, and so everybody was happy. Good celebration for dear mother, and now we're on to the next game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Hampton, congrats on the win. How you doing today?
Doing great.
Great. So exactly how many players did you guys get in the game this week? And then also your preparation, just talk about when you get ready for this Grambling team coming to town.
Yeah, everybody was dressed, probably like maybe 80 kids. And so all 5 quarterbacks played. Everybody played, so it was good. A lot of freshmen got in the game that hadn't normally dressed, so that was good. And so obviously we got Grambling this week. They got a couple good running backs, a couple good receivers. O-line's good. A good football team. So we got to go to work.
All right, Coach. Good luck against Grambling this Saturday.
All right, appreciate it.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Pine Bluff are well. Congratulations on that victory. Offensive explosion. Talk about guys going out, clicking and winning and scoring and all that good stuff.
Yeah, obviously, man, coming back, from the game down in Houston to be able to get back out on the field, to be able to see yourself have some success for the players. We know what we did the week prior wasn't who we were, so it's just good to get back on the air at home and to be able to move the ball offensively, defensively, be able to get some stops, stop the run, and special teams be able to make a few plays.
Congratulations, and look forward to seeing what you guys do this week.
All right, appreciate it.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Hampton, how you doing this morning?
Okay. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing good. Congratulations on the homecoming win.
Appreciate it.
Now we just move forward to Grambling. What is the thing that you're going to see that you see on tape that you could take into this game against Grambling as far as offensive wise and defensive wise?
Yeah, they're a good football team. I mean, they run the ball well. The quarterback, they play a couple different guys. I mean, whoever gets in there, you just heard him. I mean, he felt comfortable with those guys. And on defense, and, they're sound. They'll get after the quarterback. And, I think they had two of them. One got called back, but they got a lot of speed. So we got our work cut out for us.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. Looking at your passing offense, and I mean everybody, not just Christian, but the receivers, the O-line, the whole unit. We've seen games this year, like the Alcorn game, where they've done really well, over 300 yards. We've seen games like Texas Southern, where it was a bit more of a struggle to get the ball moving. Against a Grambling defense that's been one of the better ones against the pass in this conference, what do you need from these guys to be more consistent each week and have what they did against Alcorn be able to do that each and every week against good defenses?
Well, I mean, honestly, we need to be able to catch the ball when the ball is thrown. Obviously, against Texas Southern, we had a lot of third and longs. We had too many penalties, which is uncharacteristic of who we are. We got to be able to stay in third and manageable. If we do that, man, we've been pretty good in our third down completion. But again, we got young receivers, we got some older guys, and they'll be excited. We're at home to be able to make some plays. So it's just like everybody in this conference. I mean, it's the wild, wild west. Every Saturday you got to buckle up. So last year was a good game. We had a chance to win the game, and so our kids will be ready to play.
Thank you, Coach.
This question goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
What can you learn about your program when you face a sub Division II program as you prepare your team to face the rest of your conference schedule?
Repeat your question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Coach. I was wondering, what is it that you can learn about your team when you face a sub Division II program as you prepare to finish out your season against your conference slate?
I mean, what you learn is you learn who's going to compete. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're talking about sub. We've been to sub in a couple games. Played Arkansas the year prior. We played Texas Tech. So those are all excuses. You play football. You line it. You put the football down and you play. It doesn't matter the opponent. It's your mindset, your attitude that you have to be able to go out there and do your job. So we're not going to let our kids or anybody else tell us because we played a team that wasn't on our level that is sub. You got to go out there and compete every single snap and do your job. And that's what was good to see. You've seen guys go out there and do the job, do what the coach asked them to do. So, and I just heard one of the coaches on the call, in our conference, we have to play some games where we have to play up to get some finances. And then on homecoming, sometimes you play some that may not be your level. And so it is what it is. It all evens out. So at the end of the day, we talk about having competitive stamina. All right, regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of who's on the field, you got to compete. You got to be a man. All right, and that's what life's about. It don't matter who you put in front of me, we're going to compete. and it made the best man win.
All right, Coach. I hope you didn't take that as a slight. I know there's people out there who are curious about that type of stuff. But
yeah,
good luck this week.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Question goes to Tanner Spearman.
And Coach, when you're looking at Grambling, obviously the injuries that they're dealing with the quarterback, how does it affect your planning when you don't know for sure who's going to play quarterback for the other team?
Man, it's the SWAC. I mean, every coach on this call have multiple quarterbacks that can play. I mean, and this is why you're in the SWAC. I mean, some really athletic guys. They can run, they can throw the ball, so nothing really changes. I mean, coach does a good job. I mean, they got good coaches over there, so it doesn't really matter to us. They're going to run the football. That's what everybody in this league do. You got to be able to stop the run. So if coach had to get out there himself and hand the ball off, they're going to run the ball. And they'll throw the ball if necessary. So our objectives will always be the same, to be able to stop the run. Very few people in this league are pass first. So our priority is to find a way to stop them from running the ball. They got 3 or 4 running backs. They're all pretty good. They can take the ball the distance, and they're physical. So we have our work cut out for us. So that's what we're worried about. I don't mean no slight. I'm not worried about the quarterback. I'm worried about who the quarterback handing the ball to. And then once we be able to stop the run, then they have to pass it. Then we'll worry about that. But plan A is to stop the run.
Thank you, Coach.
Last question goes to Ty Miller.
Coach Hampton, how are you, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm fine. How difficult, you mentioned briefly the game with Grambling last season. So how difficult is it this year to prepare for a team that has a number of transfers that you may not be aware of?
It's difficult. I mean, you got 6 games on, right? Man, we got an entirely different roster. We had about 35, 40 guys. They added 35, 40. That's every coach in this conference. That's what we so it's called scouting. You go watch the film and see, go back and look at the last 3 opponents that they played. And then obviously, like by the end of the day, I would have watched all 6 games plus the last 2 we played them since I've been the head coach. So they have a pretty good idea of who they are and what they'll do. And, so I'm not worried about the guys that they brought in. It's about the guys that are showing up on film and what problems they may present or challenges that they may present to us. And then vice versa, they have to do the same.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Mississippi Valley State. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Buckley with Mississippi Valley State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Good morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time. If you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alabama A&M.
Well, it's kind of turning into a trend. We are working really hard on changing. We competing. We get off to a hot start. If you look at, I think we was up 16-7. Started the second quarter, and we just running out of the steam. We go in at halftime. We come back out, and from the opening kickoff, nothing really went our way. The guys are playing hard. We're getting in position now to make plays. That's a good sign. We're getting in position to make plays. We had our first pick, which is encouraging. Still not getting enough pressure on the quarterback. And I was hearing Coach Lou and the coach earlier about stopping the run. And Alabama A&M decided they just were going to run the ball down our throats, and that's what they did. And it didn't turn out good for us.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Buckley, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
I was actually there this weekend as an Alabama A&M alum, and I, watched that game. And I know you guys did get off to a really good start, jumping out 9-0 and 16-7, like you said. My question for you, though, it kind of goes back to the Texas Southern game a little bit, to what I saw. You guys are having a lot of issues with snapping the ball back to the punter, and also you guys had an issue where you guys missed an extra point due to a snap. At some point, Coach, where can you possibly go at this point of the season to make change in that area?
You cannot. Long snapping is a skill. It's like having that special quarterback. And when we lost our snapper, it put us in a bind. And so what we're doing is trying to get creative. We might just start going for everything, right? Because it's putting us in a bad situation to begin with. So just throw out everything and go for it on fourth down every time. Which you don't want to do that. You back up on your 10, your 5-yard line and just keep the offense out there. It puts you in a bad situation as a coach, as a team. But we're still working at it, trying to get it better, trying to get it right. But it's very hard when you don't have that guy and he's standing over there on the sideline, but he can't help you.
Well, Coach, I always say you guys play really hard, and I know you're really giving your best effort. So good luck this week in your homecoming effort against Lincoln.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Buckley, I hope you and everybody in the Delta are well. Talk a little bit about the opportunity you have coming up against Lincoln, the opportunity to win. Have you looked at this club, and what do you see from Lincoln? And then just talk a little bit about the Valleyway and why this is a great opportunity.
Well, I would say this, every week is a great opportunity. We felt like we had a great opportunity to win last week. The thing that I'm trying to get us to understand, let's take care of ourselves first, handle what we need to handle. The opponent going to give, everybody kind of runs the same plays. Sooner or later, it comes down to players versus players and what type of adjustments are we making. And can we overcome some situations? We started out at the bottom of the barrel, or the bottom of the pole, and I think we are trending and moving in the right direction. We have to put together 2 halves. And I don't care who that's against. Let's concentrate against ourselves, for us to get right, fundamentals, taking care of our business, making sure we're doing the right things as a coaching staff and the players.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
You too.
Question goes to Stephen.
Yes, good morning, Coach. Hope all is well over at the Valleyway. My question is non-football related. It's more of a societal question, social issue, dealing more so with this past weekend across our great state. We had a number of issues with violence that took place during homecoming. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. People come together for what is supposed to be a celebration, but unfortunately it has turned to violence, and maybe the message that you share with your players as well, with homecoming coming up this weekend for you, in terms of just being in a safe area and making sure that you watch your back, and also being surrounded by positivity, so to speak. But just more of a societal question in terms of how you feel about homecoming, and as well as being safe, not only for your players, but also maybe even for the fans.
Absolutely. We felt for that, and we started out our staff meeting with a prayer for everybody involved. We started out every meeting with a prayer, and that was part of it, for the safety, for the understanding, for just where we heading. And we are, always talk to the players about life after football, and that's a part of it. We have mental awareness classes. We have to help alleviate some of the stress that everybody's going through. There's a lot of pressure being put on players and people in general, and they don't know how to have that release. And that's, for me, is all I try to get the players, get us to think about is there's more to life than playing ball, than letting all the stress build up where you do something that obviously nobody's proud of. And so my heart goes out to the families, to everybody involved in that. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. But our end, my end, as coaches and the university is we pray and we want everything to be right. And when it's time to celebrate, let's celebrate. When it's time to think about things, let's think about things in a positive, constructive way.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
This question is Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, you've mentioned that you took this job in January, February, somewhere around there,
Mm-hmm.
and your team is starting out fast. I'm wondering about a strength and conditioning program to sustain that. Is it the lack of being able to institute a consistent strength and conditioning program, or is it a mental focus issue from your perspective?
Well, it's definitely not a mental focus. It's conditioning, it's strength and eating properly and doing all the things that doesn't allow you physically to finish. When them big guys leaning on you and you're not strong enough, we're in great shape. I think mentally the discipline part not understanding. We've cut down on our penalties. We haven't had a turnover taking the offense in a couple of games. It's coming down to you identifying it as weight room, proper nutrition, all the stuff that you need. We have to improve in that area as an organization that will allow us to finish games the way that we should.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck with that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Last question goes to Ty Miller.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking my question. It's about Lincoln. What's your knowledge of this traveling team, and what do you talk to your players about when they take on a team that has no home stadium, where the AD is the head coach, and it's another form of competition?
It's very easy. If you watch what's the 7-on-7, most of these kids are growing up in that. They play 7-on-7, flag football, nines popular, so they're used to that. What we're concentrating on is us. We need to get better. We need to be able to finish games. Doesn't matter the competition. We feel like we can compete right now with anybody for a half. Well, what's going to happen in the second half? So for me, it's a continual development, continue eyeballing the team with meetings and understanding how can we improve what we're doing. And doesn't matter the opponent. That's the biggest thing. Fundamentals, discipline, concentrate on yourself, look yourself in the mirror, coaches, players, everybody that's involved in the program. How can we do better? No complaining, none of that stuff. Just get better as a group.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Prairie A&M University. Once again, if you have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Jackson with Prairie A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, obviously, this past week was bye for your program, so if you could just kind of start us out just by assessing this past week for your program.
Yeah, we had a bye week at the right time, in my opinion. We were able to focus a lot on ourselves and the data from the first 6 games, and heavy self-scout, heavy reflection time while trying to get better as a program, both on and off the field, sending coaches out all over the country recruiting. Obviously, we were in heavy junior college and high school recruiting time with the early signing day coming up. So it was a great time for us to be able to get a lot of work done. We were here, we were present, we practiced. There wasn't a lot of days off. We're in no position as a program to be giving guys a lot of days off, but we were able to get some guys back from some injuries and things that we faced in the first half of the season. So look forward to getting back on the field tomorrow with our guys and with a focused game plan on Southern University.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Jackson, how are you today?
Morning.
So when we last spoke, you talked about, you said that you guys were going to be working on how to finish drives, not stalling out. What did you guys work on specifically this week and going to work on or worked on last week and going to work on this week to address that? And then lastly, what are you saying? What are you going to say to your team, or what have you said to your team about embracing this challenge that is going to the Bluff, man, with a big opportunity on Saturday?
Yeah, well, what we tried to do was go back and look at some of the things that stalled us out, whether it was a penalty, whether it was a drop. What was it that happened? It was somebody's fault, or whether it was the coach's fault, player's fault, my fault as the head coach. It was somebody's fault. So we tried to identify whose fault it was and how we can not make that our fault again. The second part of your question is, every time we go into an environment, since we've been in this league now, it's a new environment for us. 2 weeks ago we were in the Cotton Bowl, brand new environment. We've just come to grips with every environment is going to be what it is, but those people in the environment outside of the field, they have no outcome. They have no effect on the outcome of the game. And so it is and always will be about us, is what we tell our guys. We got a really good opponent in Southern University. I think they're well coached. Their record, it doesn't reflect what they are. And at this point in the season, records don't. People have really good football players. They're really well coached. And when you put them in an environment, nobody wants to lose homecoming. And so we got to believe that they're going to play their best game this weekend. But the environment for us doesn't matter. And we create our own environment on that sideline and how we go about playing. And so I think our guys are now at a point where they believe that because they've seen it work for themselves. And we just try to embrace where we are and play football.
I like that answer, Coach. Appreciate us talking to you as every week as we do, and good luck down there against Southern.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach Jackson, I hope you and everyone in your program are well. Can you talk about the offense, the defense, and the special teams, and then also how a bye week can be utilized to move forward and be successful?
Yeah, Mr. Hill, nobody's played well in our program consistently. We've had spurts here and there in all three phases. We're looking for a consistent play from everybody that's involved in all three phases. We got to do a better job as coaches. We got to do a better job. I have to do a better job as a head football coach of making sure we're clicking in all three phases, because in no game we played of the six were we clicking in all three phases. So we didn't come here to be a spurty type of football team and get lucky every now and then. We came to execute at a high level, play with high levels of enthusiasm, and keep our head down, not worry about the scoreboard. And at the end, we'll find out what we are. And so until we do that, we'll always be trying to get better. And so no phase is better than any phase. What we told our guys this past week was we need to be better everywhere. And what I told the staff was they need to be better everywhere, and then I need to be better everywhere. And so we really had a lot of time to self-reflect, and what we came up with is nobody's good enough at anything. And so we have to continue to get better.
Thank you, Coach.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, you are the #1 ranked passing defense in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, almost 30 yards a game fewer than your next closest, the second-ranked team, Grambling. Sounds like you all are pretty good there. Can you assess in your passing defense, and what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I don't think we are. I just think we've gotten lucky a few times. And I tell our kids that all the time. We're all these numbers and things that are going on right now, they don't matter. When you're chasing a championship, nothing matters until the end. At the end of the season, whenever that may be, we'll take the day after the last day, we'll get a break, and that Monday we'll come in and we'll evaluate what we were. And so maybe if we're #1 at that point, maybe I'll care. But nobody around here cares about any of that, because what we see as coaches is how the numbers should be lower. The interceptions that we dropped, the things that we needed, the techniques that we let a guy run by us or we turned the guy free. It's not good enough. And we're here changing the culture. So when you start giving people, when you're changing the culture and you start giving them a lot of kudos, we don't handle that well as people, not just as players, as people. And so again, as I said, without being disrespectful, nothing's good enough. We're not playing at the highest of the highest level. And some people, a loser would tell you that you've only been there 10 months and you got to give yourself some leeway. That's losing to me. We didn't come here to do that. We came here to be elite. And so until we reach elite status, which we are very far away from, we're not going to be settled. And so I appreciate you pointing out that number, but just so our DBs can hear if they listen on the YouTube tomorrow, we're not good enough.
Thank you, Coach. Fair enough. I get it.
This question goes to Charles Bishop.
Yeah, Coach. Even with the prior caveat with regards to players listening, I did want to ask a question in regards to Josiah Rockwell. I was very, I guess, struck by the fact that he's able to find spots in zones that are open, as well as create separation from DBs. But just talk about his play in terms of what it brings to the Prairie offense to balance it out, because you run the ball so well.
Yeah, Rockwell's made a few plays, but he needs to be better too. And we got to be better at finding creative ways to get him the ball. But he's got to take some onus in it, and we need to be better there with him. And so I'm excited for him, because where he came from, he didn't get very much run there. He got a little bit, but not as much as he wanted. And now he's in a situation to where he can be at some point a feature guy. But until he takes that step and we start doing that as a staff, then his production is just an average productive day for a wide receiver in what we do.
Sure thing, Coach. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. Go Panthers.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Southern University. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Graves with Southern University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Bethune-Cookman.
Well, last week we had a chance to go down to Daytona Beach to play Bethune-Cookman, and hats off to Coach Woody, his staff, and his team. Those guys really came out and they played well, and they had their way with us. I'm very disappointed about the way we started off fast, but the way that we continued to play throughout the course of the game wasn't up to par, wasn't up to our liking. I take responsibility for that, because it all starts and stops with me, because I'm the head football coach. And so we've had a staff meeting yesterday, and we had a real conversations about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and getting these guys ready to go. And so I look forward to meeting with the guys this evening. We'll practice tonight. We'll watch it, correct it, put that one behind us, and get ready for a very good Prairie View football team coming in there this weekend.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Graves, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So obviously not the outcome you guys are looking for, especially coming off of a bye week. Now, as you turn the page to this week, some of the things that you just said about meeting with your staff and taking accountability and things like that, you guys are pretty much now back to the wall now. You guys are running out of time here to try to make hay there in the SWAC West. What needs to change immediately this week for you, your staff, and the players to be able to get on the right side of the winning track this week against Prairie View?
Execution of what we're doing it and how we're doing it. And like I said before, and I tell anybody, we're kind of hamstrung at a time. We have some injuries in some critical spots, but nobody's going to feel sorry for you because of injuries. Yeah, you'd like to have those guys available, experienced guys, depth guys. Yeah, we played without 3 key players on Saturday on defense, and it really hurt us. We had to play some younger guys, and so. But those guys got a chance to play. Those guys got a chance to learn experience. At the end of the day, we got to be prepared, whether it's the first team guy, the second team guy, the third team guy, if you have that. And we got to go out and execute the way that we're capable to give ourselves a chance.
Well, Coach, good luck to you this week as you got homecoming and you got an opportunity against Prairie View.
Thank you.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Southern Nation are well. Darren Morris and Malachi Jackson Talk a little bit about those two gentlemen and what they were able to do against Bethune.
Good morning, James. Those guys, Malachi and Darren, those are two very good football players, very athletic, very explosive. Those guys had a chance to get out. Of course, when Bethune-Cookman missed the field goal, we came right out and hit Demo for a 70-some yard touchdown pass, and you got a chance to see his athletic ability, and then of course Malachi later with the pass and doing a great job of catching it and keeping himself in bounds for the touchdown. Those guys are explosive and athletic players and work really hard. And we just have to find ways to continue to get those guys the ball and allow them to be who they are along with some of the other weapons we have.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
Thank you. You too.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Super fantastic, Coach. Coach, let's talk about this Prairie View A&M football team that's coming in. They have been the talk of the SWAC West. Coach Jackson has them playing really well. How do you prevent what happened this past Saturday from happening in A.W. Mumford Stadium this week?
Well, first and foremost, you can't even focus on last week. Last week is here and gone. Each game is its own game in itself. Coach Jackson and his staff are doing a tremendous job. I've known Coach Jackson for a number of years. I know how he works. I know how he prepares. And those guys will be fired up and ready to go. And so what we have to do, we have to lock in and focus on us. The things that we do well, we have to do well. And the things that we don't do well, we have to work to do those things better or don't do them all together. And so it's going to take a concerted effort for us in all three phases of the game to come together and play well in order to come out victorious.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Tua Lloyd Brown.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Doing all right. Yeah, I watched. I was obviously at the game. I realized that Vincent Page didn't play in the first quarter. It looked like, and he came in the second quarter. What was the reason for that?
That was Coach Scott's the linebacker coach, and that was his decision. He played. The guys practiced. Whoever practiced well that week, those who the guys was going to go out and play. So that's I didn't have a problem with that. We have our linebacker core is very capable of playing. So I'm not concerned about who goes out there first or what have you. I just need them to go out there and be ready to go.
Got it.
This question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach Gray. This is Marvin Nichols, MTMV Sports. The record doesn't always tell the full story of a team's heart or effort. How do you keep your guys motivated and unified in a season where the results haven't matched the work you've been putting in?
It's real easy. I believe in our team. I believe in our players. Our players work hard. Their attitudes are good. They're still bought in. They understand. We're in a rough patch. But the thing is, I always tell them, when you're in a storm, you got two choices. You either sit in it or you keep going, because if you keep going, you're going to get out of it. And those guys are committed to do that. And all we have to do is continue to keep our head down and work. We got to, tune out the outside noise. We watch the film and we know it's a play here, a play there, a mistake here, a mistake there, and things can be totally different. So at the end of the day, we just got to continue to go forward and trust and believe in what we're doing and how we're doing it. And, we'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you next week.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Brandon King.
Good morning, Coach Grace. How you doing?
Good morning. Thank you.
Wanted to ask you if, obviously, coaches often say homecoming is not for the players, it's for everyone else. In light of that and some of the unfortunate curricular activities that have happened, including at Alcorn, what has been your message to your players, not only for their safety, but also anything you want to disseminate to their friends or family that may be coming down to watch the game and enjoy the festivities so everybody can get back to their destination safely.
Well, first and foremost, let me say my thoughts and prayers go out to every institution and every family that's affected by these tragic and just unbelievably disheartening acts of violence, senseless acts of violence, whether it's at Alcorn, Jackson, South Carolina State, any other schools. I think they had situation at LSU and a few other places, and even at some high schools in Mississippi. It's very unfortunate and it's very disheartening. But the thing that I tell the players all the time, it is homecoming is for the alumni and fans that are coming home. We're already here, so there's no homecoming. You know, you get Saturday night after homecoming to enjoy the festivities. But the thing is, we just the same thing we did last year. Those guys, they know that they don't get caught up in the activities during the week. We make sure that we're doing things to kind of keep them away from some of those activities. But more importantly, it's a commitment from them to, say, hey, we're going to commit to being focused to prepare for this week and this game this week. And, you just have to, be diligent and paying attention to your surroundings and things that are going on. It's unfortunate, the things that are happening, but everybody just has to stay safe. Everybody has to stay aware and make sure that they enjoy themselves, but also make sure that they stay safe.
Thank you, Coach, for that insight, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
As always, Coach, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, thank you. Go Jags.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Texas Southern and Coach Dishman will pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, we are working to connect with Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. We appreciate your patience. We'll be back momentarily. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies. How y'all doing?
Great, Coach, and thank you for joining us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Grambling.
Well, first, it's my first time being down there, but other coaches have told me how hard it is to win down there, and it was a good win for us, and it was a hard win, but it was a very good win for us. I think our team is coming along right now, is gelling at the right moments, and we're just trying to win one game at a time and see how it happens.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Chris Dishman, how are you today?
Wayne, you?
Doing well. So, Coach, 4 turnovers that your defense forced, and you guys were very opportunistic the entire night. Can you talk about how impressed you are with just how much your defense continues to get better week after week?
Well, that's one of our goals, to get better each week. Not only defensively, but our offense, special teams, to try to get better each and every week and just see what happens. We're just trying to win one game a week and see what happens at the end of the season.
Coach, appreciate to talk to you this week, and we know you got homecoming against Lynchburg this week.
Yes, sir, we do.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Houston are well. Rushing yards as well as third down efficiency. Can you talk about that as seen in your game at Grambling?
Well, it's a formula out there that is always stay the formula is win third down, be able to run the ball, have less turnovers than your opponent, and have less penalties than your opponents. Those 4 criteria as far as winning the football game, those 4 criteria always stay true to itself. So those are criteria we go by. And if we're able to do that, then we should be able to win a lot of football games here.
Appreciate you, Coach. Have a great week.
All right.
Question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
How you doing, sir?
I wanted to ask a little bit about your offensive line. Past couple weeks, you guys have rushed for just under 600 yards, but you also have not given up a sack. Talked about gelling. What has been kind of the secret to the sauce with regards to O-line?
Well, Coach Smith, offense coordinator, do a great job with our O-line. He makes sure they know the protection and stuff like that. So he's been doing a great job with our O-line, and our young guys that was in there at first is now maturing.
Understood. Thank you, Coach.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Dishman, how you doing today?
Hey, Doc, and you?
I'm doing good. I see as far as with the running game, ran for over 228 yards. Talk about your running backs and what are some things that you see in all your runners?
Well, they're very versatile. We have different style runners. Renfro is different from Ford. Ford is different from Renfro, and so we have different style runners back there, which would help us a lot of having the different style guys back there. So each guy is very important to this team, and we need each guy back there to do what they're supposed to be doing.
All right. Good luck next week, Coach.
Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. All right, next question goes to Zach.
Good, Coach.
Zach, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just to be back now at 500, to be 3-3, how much of a boost, if any, is that for your team to kind of have more of a clean slate now that you're, out of the loss column?
Well, anytime you win, no matter how you win, a win is very good. It's very positive for our team. It's an uplift for our team as far as our players and also our coaches can get uplifted on the win. So right now, our goal is to win one game at a time for the next 5 to 6 weeks. And if we do that, we can see where we're at the end of the season.
Coach.
Any final questions? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, have a great one.
Thank you. All right, we now get set to go over to Jackson State and Coach T.C. Taylor. Once again, if you have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your question in the queue. Already several questions there in the queue, so we ask you please limit your questions to one initial question. If we've got additional time, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Taylor with Jackson State. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's game versus Alabama State.
Yeah, great weekend. One hell of a football game right here in Jackson for our homecoming. Great turnout with the crowd. I think it was over 40,000 people in the stands, but a great atmosphere this weekend. Very electric football game this weekend. Alabama State and Coach Eddie Robinson, they came to play. It was a competitive game all throughout in all three phases. But it came down to the last play. Ashton and Quincy did a great job right there defending the option. But, very pleased where we at. A big win for our football team, East Division opponent right now. So we're sitting at the top in the East right where we want to be, in control of our own destiny. But very pleased with all three phases of our football team. I thought our offense played well. Jacoby and Morgan had another solid performance. Our receiving core, running backs played well, O-line. Defense did a great job of, trying to contain Andrew Body, who's a hell of a player. He's a great quarterback in this conference, and this conference is lucky to have two high-level quarterbacks like Morgan and Body, but a great football game this weekend.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach T.C. Taylor, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, man. Tremendous display of football on Saturday. I enjoyed watching that.
Thank you.
So my question for you, 4:24 on the clock. You take over down 34-31. What's the tenor of the sideline, and what was the initial message that you had to Jacoby and leading them out on that game-winning scoring drive?
Yeah, I just told them, they left us too much time. You talk about 4-minute offense. That's something we talk about as a unit. And the luxury for us in a 4-minute situation, we're able to run the football. We had some really good runs in there to generate some first downs, and just very pleased with the execution of our offense, the coaches and everybody in that moment. Nobody really panicked in that situation. We just wanted that opportunity to go down there and get an opportunity to score, and that's what we did. With some big third down conversions on that drive. We didn't do anything to shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties like that, and I told Jacoby this is the moment, that makes the great ones. These are the moments nobody will ever forget. And he went out there and executed. And like I told you guys on Saturday night after the game, that last play to Nate, that was something he came to me and said he wanted to do. He saw something in the defense. he wanted to make that call, and I just put my trust in him, and he made a hell of a throw, and Nate went up there and caught it. So heck of a drive in that moment of the game against a good defense in Alabama State.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you as always, and enjoy your bye week.
All right, thank you.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach TC, what's going on?
What's up, Doc? Good to hear from you again.
Oh yeah. On Saturday, after caught up with you, you said to me that the SWAC runs through Jackson. But we gonna get on that last play with 1 second left, with Andrew running the option and Ashton Taylor making a beeline to the running back to stop him at the 1 yard line. What was your thought on that last play? And just give us the what did you tell the defense going into the last play after giving the 1 second left on the clock?
I think, Doc, it was more so, like I said, what they told me. You know, they told me that they got this. They were finna go out here and stop them. And that's what they did. I thought Coach Quinn came out with a good scheme. You know, he hadn't really shown that look the entire football game. And it's an opportunity for Ashton to kind of freelance at linebacker. And that's when he's at his best. You know, you talk about big-time speed and can impact plays when he's able to freelance like that. And he saw it. And once he saw the, the option that Body was running, he beelined. I mean, if you look at him on tape, it was no hesitation in him. He ran through to the right and just, stoned the running back right there at the goal line. It was a big-time play, but it was something that he did for us last year in the same game. In that same type of moment, he had the big safety back there in that game. So it was a great call by Coach Quinn getting, that young man in that position in order to make a play, and he did that. I thought our defensive line did a good job, too, as well on that particular play, is holding the line of scrimmage when you're in those type of situations, because, to be honest, we really thought they were going to throw that ball over there. They had a bunch set up over there. We thought they were going to try to, work some kind of pick or rub routes right there. So great job by our defense, getting them off the field in that moment.
And just having it go on a bang play, and I seen where it was at. It was a very close play. But hey, good luck on get some rest for this bye week and be ready for Vegas.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Jackson are well. The road to a championship and the grind. During that road to championships, there's these special games, and you just competed in one. Can you talk about this game and how special it was to get it done? These are memorable games, some of the greatest in history.
Oh, definitely. I played in them, and, now I'm fortunate enough to be coaching in some great, memorable matchups in this SWAC conference. But when you talk about the SWAC, you talk about a lot of legendary players, legendary moments, and I think this game last weekend ranks right up there with any of them. But it gets your football team ready for those later times in the year. We had to. We talked about getting to a Celebration Bowl, and we know that when people come to play Jackson State, it's going to be a tough game no matter who the opponent is. And Alabama State, like I said, they brought it. They did not go away. It was a dogfight to the end. But, the resiliency that our team showed in this game, I was just talking about the Doc with them to get that last play on the 1.5 yard line, and for us to go out there and find a way to stop them not scoring in that moment. It says a lot about this football team as a whole, and then the 4-minute period for us to have to go down there and go up in a game like that. Then we get that penalty on the PAT, and we have to, Beza has to have he nailed it, the kickoff. We were backed up, but he did a good job of kicking it, as deep as he could right there. So these kind of games, that they make the great ones and the ones that will never be forgotten. And there was some guys out there this past weekend, that solidified themselves in history here.
Congratulations on that victory, and we look forward to covering you going forward.
All right, thank you.
Question goes to Kayla Sweezy.
Hi, Coach. I hope you're doing well. I want to take a moment to first congratulate you on that win and acknowledge that. But as I look ahead just at your schedule and the game coming up in Vegas against Grambling, I'm currently working on a story on the Raiders and just their deep history with HBCUs. What does it mean to be able to go play at Allegiant Stadium and bring HBCU football to the West Coast to maybe a crowd who doesn't typically see it and in such a historic fashion with this being the first time?
Yeah, I think it's huge for HBCU football to go out on the West Coast. For us as a program, we got a huge alumni base out that way, you know, and a lot of them can't get to Mississippi to some of these games. So we're going to take it over there and, you know, allow those fans over there to see us play a football game. But it's going to be a great turnout. I mean, the buzz is all over the place right now for that game. Grambling is a team that beat us last year. You know, we went to Grambling, they beat us pretty good, almost by 3 touchdowns. So we got to come out and play, but this pays dividends. Then a lot of our players are excited about the opportunity of playing in an NFL stadium, you know. So they're excited about it. I know the fans are excited about it. It's going to be great for HBCU football, and we look forward to next weekend.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Perry.
Big win, big win. Coach, we after the stop, we had a chance to see you display some emotion that we don't normally get a chance to see. Talk about what was going through your mind and emotions at that moment.
Yeah, it was a lot. You know, like I said, as a former player here, I done had some great games at the vet, some tough losses against that, a tough loss against that school at the vet. And at that moment, for that game to finish that type of way, I mean, it all just came out in that moment. You know, I just wanted to run over there. I just took off running. I don't even know why. It just came out of me. I took off running. And, you know, just happy for our team to get that win. The fans, I mean, they were electric the entire game. It was one of the loudest days I've ever been a part of in the vet, but it was a lot of emotions come out in that type of game like that, because like a game like that has so much effect on what December or what a SWAC championship, all of the goals that we set, East Division championship, because like I said, Alabama State is a really good football team. You can't take nothing away from them. They are as advertised, and it just came out of me at that moment, and you know, I couldn't you know, contain myself. And once everything settled down, I was like, oh, let me cool down now. I got to go shake Coach Eddie Robb hand, get over here to the band and everything. But hey, we enjoyed that one. I have to say that was one of my greatest moments in that stadium.
Well, you deserve to let your hair down a little bit there, Coach. And the two institutions are developing a great rivalry. Good luck to you in the future.
All right, thank you, Perry.
Question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Chuck, how you doing? I'm good.
Let me ask this question. This is Jacoby's second 5-touchdown game for Jackson State. And I know you're well versed in Jackson State football history, but I want to ask this with regards to what he has on the ledger during his time at Jackson State. Where do you think he's starting to kind of cement himself with regards to Jackson State football history?
I think it's still a lot of football left for him. He's steady, you know, writing his story in the history books right now. And it's because we still have 5 games left, potentially 2 more after that. But he's on a good track, Chuck. I have to say that, you know, for the way he started off this season and a lot of the criticism that young man faced, it was tough on him. Let me say that. It was tough on him, but he persevered and came back, and he's playing stellar football right now. But, you know, when this thing ends, people are going to have to really sit down and say, and look at, you know, and compare him to a lot of the great quarterbacks that came through this program. And it's all about his hard work and his ableness to persevere through these type moments, though, Chuck.
I appreciate you always, Coach.
All right, thank you.
We'll take 2 more questions. First one goes to Tia Reed.
Hi, Coach. Sitting here now at the halfway point of the season, what is your evaluation of your team and kind of this caliber of play expectation that they set going into the back half of the season?
Yeah, I know right now we got a football team that'll battle. You know, it's going to battle for 4 quarters. I love our depth of our football team. We were missing some key players this past weekend. Cam Silas, the safety, wasn't there, and he's definitely an all-conference type performer. It was quite a few guys. Mello, one of our linebackers, has been impacting games, but this team just finds a way to persevere, no matter the situation. We work situational football all summer long, all camp. in practice now. And, we hit a lot of those situations this past weekend. And to see them go out there and execute at a high level, it just lets me know we can play with anybody in the country when we playing our best football. But these next 5 are what's important for us. We got 3 in a row on the road. In Vegas, we go to Tallahassee, and then we got to go up to Valley. And then we'll finish the last 2 of the season right here at the Vet. But we got to take these serious and, be ready to go, take advantage of this bye week, heal a little more. But we got to get good reps and continue to get better because we still got a long ways to go in this season. But to answer your question, I'm very happy with this team. I know what I got in this team. And like I said, we can play with anybody in the country when we're playing the right way.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Marva.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Or good afternoon, Coach. This is Marvin Nichols from PNB Sports. Congratulations on the win. That was top tier coaching from both you and Coach Eddie Robinson, and I really, really enjoyed the game. Question: can you share with us how the support from your athletic director, alumni, and fan base has influenced your program overall in creating the current culture of the program?
Yeah, I think I know we have the top athletic director in the country, Ashley Robinson. He does a great job of giving us what we need to be successful. I don't bother him a lot, but he knows when I hit him up, he knows it's something that I really need, or these players really need in order to win football games and be successful. But and his entire team that's over there, all of them do a great job being hands-on and getting us what we need, making adjustments when we have maybe a letdown in this particular area and everything. So it pays a lot, and these players see that, they got the administration is supporting them in the right way, but it pays dividends when you can, lean on your administration in certain situations when you need things like just anything where something may fail it. But I can't say enough about A.D. Robinson giving me this opportunity. That's why I come out here and I come in here every day and work my butt off to try to, go out here and win games every weekend. And I just relay all that to our players and they respond to it. And the fans, let me say this, like I said too, over 40,000 in there this past weekend. This was a epic homecoming, but they've been there every step of the way, even back as far as I can remember as a player, the fans are going to show up and show out. They do a great job of supporting this program. They love JSU football. They really love JSU football, and they expect us to be elite when we step on the field, and that's what we try to give them.
Absolutely, and I am Graham fam, so we know how that rival is between the 2 schools, and I look forward to seeing you over in Vegas. And good luck to you this weekend.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all be safe. All right.
This is our SWAC football head coaches meeting.